A relatively quick look at another budget pistol here on Riders Range. Thanks for stopping in while we take a look at the SCCY, I think that's how you pronounce it, SCCY, CPX-4. Stay with me. All right, the SCCY CPX-4 380. Why do we have this? Am I turning into Affordable Armory? I'm not going to steal Justin's thunder. I'll let him stick with the Affordable Armory. However, this is definitely an affordable firearm. What you're seeing is what you get when you take it out, including a plastic trigger lock and keys for it, instruction manual, 2 magazines. At least they ship with 2, not 1, and each of them has a little bit of a finger extension on it, so I can get actually a full grip. Little 380 pistol. Now, why are we doing this? We're going to be starting a series on 380 pistols coming up in the real near future. I'm going to be testing probably 12 or close to it. Sometimes 2 at a time, sometimes 1 at a time. We'll see where it goes. But this thing is available for around $200, and I wanted to see how a $200 gun is going to work. Now, the CPX-3, same thing, 380, does not have the safety. I ordered the CPX-4 that does have a thumb safety on it, just because a number of the other pistols that we're testing have thumb safeties, and I kind of like it, even though this is a double action, and this is a long double action. You see a protrusion on the front. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. It's not supposed to be there. Anyway, double action pistol, put the safety on, nothing happens, take the safety off, and by the way, has been safety inspected. This is a hammer-fired gun. As you can see, the hammer moving backward there. A long double action. I was a little concerned I was going to break my Wheeler electronic trigger gauge when I was pulling on this, because it was definitely starting to torque that the rod. But it's 9 pounds, 10 ounces, real consistent. I even put the RCBS spring gauge along next to it and still come out with just under 10 pounds trigger pull. Yeah, okay, not all that bad. It's a flat, smooth trigger, which I do like, but I also found I had to shift my trigger finger position just a little bit because it started pinching off to the side when I got my normal position. So I'll have to get used to that. Good ergonomics, good feel. Again, 2 metal magazines. These are advertised as being engineered, designed, and actually fully manufactured in-house in the USA. They manufacture all their own parts. They don't outsource anything, is what they're claiming. The Roebuck quad lock-up system supposedly locks up the barrel front and back on the slide to make it a good solid, almost an integral part of the slide when it's fully locked. That's nice. Rear cocking serrations, which are certainly assertive enough. Plain old sights. These, I don't know if these are metal or plastic yet, but they sure do look like Glock sights to me, except it doesn't have the goalpost on the back, but they look like the same basic design. Now I'm looking, actually I can see just a little bit of, there we go, you can see under the rear sight. Not sure how that's going to work out, but we're going to find out. Decent grip texture, not overly aggressive, not something that's going to be rubbing on your body, nothing on the finger groove part. Just stippling type on the side. That's not super aggressive. I think this might be a little slippery in wet hands. The same thing on the back strap. It does have little indentations there. Certainly not finger grooves, or not not any kind of a thumb rest. Again, full contact with a magazine, and this is billed as being a 10-round magazine. I actually was able to stuff 11 rounds in that, but it's billed as being a 10+1 gun. And yeah, you can get the magazine out okay. Let's see. Oh, by the way, the safety is fully ambidextrous. However, the slide stop lever is not ambidextrous. All right, to the workmanship on this. Again, other than a heavy trigger, it is a very consistent trigger, one of the more consistent ones that I've actually sampled. But when I pulled it out of the box, I noticed the recoil spring guide rod is hanging out the front of the gun. That did not look right. So I took it apart and looked at it, and let's see if I can get it apart here again without doing too much effort on it. Okay, pull it all the way back to here. Let's lock it back. There, just using a rim of a cartridge. This is not a cartridge, by the way. It's from the SCCY. It's actually a USB drive with a whole bunch of training stuff on it. It comes with a membership kit. All right, so we pull the pin out. Slide comes right off without having to pull the trigger. And this, by the way, for YouTube manual viewers, this is how you take the gun apart to clean it. It's in the instruction manual. I'm not modifying it or anything else. If you look in here, you can see where there's a little gap between the inner rod and the outer rod. Outer rod and inner rod appear to be pressed together. So, didn't seem right. Didn't look like the other information I've seen on it is captured. Recoil spring, of course. So, here's where the pleasant surprise was. I called up SCCY, actually got a real live human being in well under 30 seconds in the service department, told them what the problem was. They just asked for my name, address, and email, and the serial number on the gun, which is on the back of the frame, and lo and behold, they sent me a new one. I haven't put it in yet. I'm going to put it in here momentarily. And by the way, for the YouTube manual reviewers, this does not change the action of the gun. This fixes a problem with the gun that you can see right there. But they sent it to me, no questions asked, and actually had it the second business day after I called them. So very pleasant. I had, at the same time, I called Walther, and lo and behold, Walther, I had to wait about 5 minutes on hold, finally got somebody with a minor problem on the CCP-M2, and they were not helpful at all. They just kept repeating the same standard boilerplate language from their, I'll get this back where it belongs here, there we go, from their, obviously from the manual that they were reading for their customer service, which really wasn't service. There we go, now it's fitting like it should. Anyway, Walther was not helpful at all. SCCY, I gotta hand it to him. For a $200 gun, they took care of me really quick. So the question comes out, how does it compare with any others? Kind of the standard bearer would be the SIG P365. This is also a 10+1. The SCCY is a little bit fatter, although just a little shorter. And put a magazine in the SCCY. When you stack them on top of each other, the SIG is definitely shorter. Again, the SIG 365, this is 380 again, is kind of the standard bearer, and the SIG is definitely a smaller gun. I can just barely get a full firing grip on the SIG, and the SCCY is definitely the taller of the two guns. A little bit of weight difference too. The SCCY comes in at 21.3 ounces with 11 rounds of Spear Gold Dot 90 grain 380 auto, and 21.3 ounces for the SCCY. 20 ounces flat for 11 rounds with a magazine in the 365. So about an ounce and change heavier for the SCCY. Trigger pull, that we already mentioned, that's got a long trigger pull compared to the Taurus. Double action continuous on the good old Taurus Spectrum. Yeah, it's a little dirty. That's how white frames get when you shoot them a lot. About an 8-pound trigger pull in this, much nicer trigger on the Taurus. And then you also look at size comparison with the Shield EZ, and the SCCY is the much smaller gun and also higher capacity, since the Shield is only 8+1. So again, just a general comparison to get some of the standard models. All right, we're going to lube this up and take it out to the range and put some rounds through it, even though it's got a almost 10-pound trigger pull. But we're going to see how it works with a variety of ammunition. This will be included in our review of 380 pistols coming up in the not too distant future. But let's see how a $200 budget gun works on the range. That's it. Thanks for stopping in.